Hi, welcome back. So we have got the IP addresses belonging to the organization. Okay, as I said, I'm not going to use the IBM's IP address for IBM's IP address anymore. So what we are going to do is we are going to go to the Google for hackers, which is Shodan, and I did a search for the honeypot. Okay, when I did a search, I got the first one as the one in Monaco. These are all honeypots, purposefully vulnerable system on the external domain. So let me pick up one of the honeypots. Okay, and for all the systems that we actually got, we need to see whether they are really on the network or not. Okay, so the best command to see whether they actually work or not is the ping. Okay, let me copy this IP, get back to our Kali Linux, ping. Okay, now this is actually not responding. Okay, now, so ping doesn't give me any response. That doesn't mean that the system is actually not on the network. Okay, there is another command called nping. Nping is actually from the guys who developed the nmap. Now nping, fping, and we used fping actually, where the input was actually a file from where we read the IP address, and we are able to see whether the IPs were alive or not. Okay. Now what nping is actually going to do is you can actually use the flags on TCP, UDP, ICMP, etc. and in the probe mode to actually verify the system is up and running or not. Yeah. So I'm going to use nping, ICMP. Okay. The IP. You see that the ICMP flags have been sent and nothing has been received. That means the target is either not up and running or the ICMP is actually blocked. So an up arrow, let me change this to TCP. Now, if you see here, the packets are sent, they're also received. So 5 packets sent and 5 packets received. Loss is 100%. So loss is 0. It's not, so 100%, it's actually reverting. That means the system is up and running. Okay, we know that they have blocked the ICMP ping, but they have enabled what is actually called as a TCP ping. Now, if you look at the options that is available for us on the nping, you can also selectively ping a particular port. See, source port, destination port. You can specify a source port because the source port is 80. That means that the ping is actually from an Apache server or HTTP server, and the source port is 53. Then the destination will think, okay, it's a DNS zone transfer. So sometimes what happens on the firewall, the source port is 80 or 53, then they will allow the traffic inside. Okay, now how do we know that whether the source port is 80 or 53? We need to use the Wireshark to actually as a proof of concept. Yeah, so let's use the Wireshark as a proof of concept for this. WAP source port. Yeah, nping source port is 80. Okay, so let's open up Wireshark. Any? Let's stop it. Yeah. Now, if you actually see here, okay, this is my system's IP and destination target's IP is this one. Okay, 80 to 80. Okay. Now you can actually see my source port has been set to 80 because of the web page. The destination is also on 80. Now what I can actually do is, instead of setting the destination IP, destination port is actually 80. I can also see I can change the destination port. Okay, so destination port I will say 53. Let's try it again. 53 is actually not open. Even if it's going to be TCP, 53 is not open. See, so 80 to 53. This is a proof of concept. So from my system, the port 80 is actually used. I have spoofed it. Target system, I'm trying to ping port 53 because the target is not it's not a DNS server. Okay, so it's not actually responding to the ping if I'm going to point it to a particular port. If not, by default, it takes 80 as a port. That's what we have actually found. Now, coming on to this particular command, okay, now I can use something called the verbosity. Verbosity will give me the details. Okay, V1. And if you see the output is different. In the output, I can very well see. Okay, so there's a port 80. Okay, on the target system, my port is 36352. In fact, we could have done the proof of concept without using a Wireshark. So this one, verbosity level 1. Let's use level 2. Some more details. Level 3. And if you actually look at this, okay, this is very similar to what we find on the Wireshark. Let's say 4. Some more details. Okay, if you look at the Wireshark, this is how it actually looks like, right? So some more details. Okay, let's see what is the level of verbosity that we can actually use on Nping. H verbosity level maximum is 4. Let's see what happens when we set it to the debug mode. D1, D2, D3. So if you look at the D3 output, okay, it's very similar to what we actually got from the verbosity. Yeah. So the people who are into network diagnostics, okay, so the network technicians, they might find this nping command with the verbosity and debugging mode quite useful. Very powerful command. Okay. So if you actually look at the examples, you can set the flags reset. So we have got 6 flags on TCP: SYN, ACK, FIN, push, reset, and urge. Okay, so you can set the flag because and if you actually use the nping setting the flag to SYN and ping the target system, it might respond. If it's ACK flag, it might not respond if the firewall is a stateful packet inspection firewall, which can keep a trace of SYN, SYNAC, and ACK, all the handshakes, in fact. Okay, it's an excellent tool, nping, that you can actually use for your penetration testing just to validate whether the target system is up and running. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video. I'll speak to you again on the next one, where we are going to see how do we add a key to the recon and then jump on to the popular port scanner called Nmap. Cheers then. Stay